Hi again, everybody. I want to do a video because it's coming around the corner, the Patrick Kane deal, right? He's going to sign somewhere. I want to give you just my thoughts on it and my destinations and why I think on each team he could wind up there and why, to me, it makes sense. And you're probably going to raise an eyebrow at some of the teams I put here, but we'll see. We'll see if you do or don't. I got 8 teams I think are the most likely he's going to sign in one of these 8 teams, I believe. But watch him go, and I don't got Columbus on this list, and watch him go sign in Columbus, like Gaudreau did. I mean, you guys have seen the strangest things happen. I'm going to give you my list and talk about it. All right, coming in at number 8, I got the Sabres coming in at number 8. And I think really it's just about the home team, the up-and-coming young team. A familiar city, of course, for him. And I think for him it would make a lot of sense that way. And I'll explain also, he'll get paid better coming to Buffalo than he will some of these other teams. And that could come into play too. So Buffalo would probably have to pay out, I'm guessing, like $4 million to get him for 1 year or something, And the question is, do we do it? That's the question. I say no. Okay, coming in at number 7, and I got our favorite rivals, the Toronto Maple Leafs, guys. I got the Leafs coming in at 7 just because the Leafs put their nose in everything. Okay, they put their nose in everything, and they think it's their God-given right to every free agent out there signs in Toronto. So I don't think it'll happen in Toronto. And the truth is, because he'll get paid much less in Toronto than he would Buffalo. And to be honest, I just don't think Toronto's going to win the Stanley Cup. And he wants to go, if he's going to go to a team, a high-end team, he'll have better choices than Toronto, is my feel there. But Toronto has to be on this list because they could make things happen, guys. They could. It's possible. Okay, number 6. I'll put it down. I got Florida coming in next. I think the Panthers are definitely a possible in this. I think they had their run already, though. And the odds of them doing another big run like last year, the veterans know this. It's not often a team will have back-to-back good runs. I don't know. Florida's was kind of a magical run, too, last year, guys. I think they're going to be better this year, but they're not going to go as far in the playoffs. And Florida, I don't see it happening in Florida either. It's really the top 4 I believe he's going to go to. So we'll move on from Florida. But you never know. You never know. He just might sign there. He might. Number 5, Detroit. Detroit's been big-time rumored about getting Kane. And it would make more sense for the Red Wings to nab him than us. They're an older team than us, and it would make more sense for them. And the truth is, I would love to see them nab him and lock him in at $6 million a year for 4 years or something. I'd be so happy, guys. I would be so happy, but I don't think Yzerman's that stupid. I don't think they would give him a long-term deal like that. Probably be a 2-year deal, I'm guessing, for $5 million a year. Detroit and Buffalo are the obvious ones on this list if he wants to go to a non-contender to get paid. They are. They're the 2 obvious choices for him are Detroit or Buffalo. And I think Buffalo because of the home thing, and Detroit because of maybe the direction they're moving in and we're moving in right now is, we just don't know. Detroit might be a little attractive also because DeBrincat's there, So that's who I got coming in at number 5. Number 4, Los Angeles. I got the Kings coming in at number 4. I think LA is going to be a bidder in this, even though we don't hear anything about it anywhere. These 4 teams I'm going to mention, to me, make the most sense for Kane. If I was Kane and his agent, and you really trying to get another shot at a cup, I think the Kings are a contender now. They're going to be tough to beat in the playoffs again this year. They look like they've really improved already this year. And they just win in regulation so often. The Kings could be the sleeper. I'll say the sleeper of these 4 teams. That's why I got them number 4. Number 3, I got Vegas. Vegas, to me, makes sense because Vegas, everybody wants to play in Vegas. Everybody wants to play there. It's the cold, hard truth. Everybody wants to go to Vegas like they do Toronto, but more in Vegas. You know, if you have a choice of Toronto or Vegas, you're going to Vegas. And Vegas have a Stanley Cup contender. It would be good timing for him. But, you know, these guys that run to like teams that, you know, they want to get a cup, they should put an asterisk next to their name, you know. But anyway, Vegas I could see definitely in this mix, even though I haven't heard a thing about Vegas. I really haven't. So I'm just putting them there because Vegas are the type that could sweep in and get them for $1 million. These 4 teams I'm mentioning, before I go on, I'm thinking one max $2 million cap hit, max. Detroit and Buffalo would be looking at 4 to 5. Florida would be looking at 3.5. They would have to pay more than these other teams. And Toronto would have to pay out more too, just to be in that zoo. So yeah, they'd have to pay out more, Toronto. Dealing with the media alone, I think he'd say, no, I'm not signing here for $1 million, forget it. I couldn't see it happening in Toronto because there's other contenders he could sign with that are more stable. It would make sense. So Vegas for me comes in number 3. Number 2, Colorado. I think Colorado makes perfect sense. That team, that's who I picked to win the Stanley Cup this year before the season started. I'm sticking with it. I think Colorado is going to rebound from last year and show up come playoff time this year. They've got the horses over there. And for $1 million, if you can squeeze Kane in, I'm sure they can. And it would make a good sense for him. Good sense for him before he goes back on the free agent market in the summer to win, just come off another Stanley Cup where maybe he played and had a good playoffs also, you know? So that's what I'm thinking there. And number 1 for me, guys, and this is where I think Patrick Kane's going to land up because nobody's talking about it, and I believe it's where he's going to land up. And for the first time today, I heard it. I heard it on the 32 Thoughts podcast, and I said, you know what? Damn it, I was going to mention this days ago, and I'm going to mention it now. It's not because of 32 Thoughts. I've thought this right from the start. Boston. I think Boston would make perfect sense. That would be the perfect fit. They got rid of, you get rid of Taylor Hall and you bring in Patrick Kane. Patrick Kane comes in, he shows them his stuff. And you know how the Bruins are, you got to prove it to them. It's not an organization where, oh, Mr. Kane, come on in. It's not going to be like that. You're going to be welcome, but at the same time, you're going to have to prove yourself and give 100%. He's not going to get away with slacking or looking average on that team. They'll just let him go in the offseason. So I think Boston, if they're gearing up for another Stanley Cup run, and the truth is, folks, as much as I hate to admit it, that team over there deserves another Stanley Cup. They've been so good for so long, since 2011, that they look like they're going to break through one more time with those older guys that are still there. It's just how I feel about the Bruins. If they go into a deep run, especially if they're in the finals against Vegas, I'll be cheering for the Bruins for sure. And I know a lot of you will probably say, Wayne, I won't even watch it if that's what happens. But that's my pick. I think he's going to wind up being a Bruin, even though we don't hear Boston at all. We don't hear the name. Everybody's talking Detroit, Rangers. I don't even have the Rangers on this list. I don't think he's going to wind up on the Rangers. I just don't think it was a good fit. That's how it felt. And the Rangers are rolling. They don't need him. They just don't. All right, guys, done for this one. I'll see you if I put this up, it might be after the post game. I'm not sure. Might be in between. See you then.